You know that feeling when you sit down at your desk, open your laptop and immediately feel like the world is literally on fire? There's WhatsApp pinging, there's inbox overflowing, people messaging you with just a quick thing, deadlines are suddenly today. Everyone needs something. And somehow, you're expected to know exactly what to do first. That is what most working places look like now, but they don't have to. In today's episode, we're going to unpack how to get out of that mental spiral, and I'll walk you through the exact triage system I use to stay calm and focused, even when everything feels like a top priority. My name is Marcel, I'm a chartered manager, and for the last 2 decades, I've been managing teams and projects, all coming with their own set of urgent challenges. What I am about to share with you are just some of the available techniques. I'm sharing them because they work very well for me, but there are so many other tools and I will probably cover them in a separate video. For today, however, let's focus on only 3. Now, this isn't just for solo operators. This is especially useful if you're a manager or a team lead trying to stop your people from being pulled in 100 directions. We'll go over the Eisenhower Matrix, the ICE framework, and the 3-minute daily reset, and a few counterintuitive truths I've learned after leading through some pretty overloaded weeks. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or if your calendar looks like Tetris on hard mode, let's talk about how to actually take back control. Let's start with a truth that took me way too long to learn. Most people and their teams don't have shared definition of urgency, and when there's no clear definition, everything feels urgent. A ping from a senior stakeholder? Urgent. An email flagged high importance? Urgent. Someone knocking on your desk asking for 10 minutes that all of a sudden turns into 45? Definitely urgent. But there's the thing, urgency and importance are not the same. Urgency is about time sensitivity. Importance is about the impact. Now I'm going to say that again because this is a very critical difference. Urgency is about time sensitivity, and importance is about impact. And when you treat everything as urgent, you train your brain and your team to panic instead of prioritize. And the result, you end up spending your time on the loudest task, not the most valuable ones, which is a recipe for burnout and stagnation. So we need a better way to decide what gets our time, what gets our energy, and what gets our focus. Let me give you a better analogy. Think of a paramedic. Arriving at the scene of an accident, there's multiple people injured, everyone's shouting, it's chaotic. Do they panic and try to treat everyone at once? No. I don't know whether you've noticed, but unlike in movies, paramedics don't run to the incident. Instead, they walk quickly, taking stock of what they see and making decisions on what needs to be done first. They triage, they assess. Who's in critical condition? Who's stable? Who can wait? They make fast, informed decisions, not based on noise or drama, but on urgency and severity. You can and should approach your workload the same way. One of the simplest triage tools is the Eisenhower Matrix. It asks 2 questions. Is this urgent? Is this important? That gives you 4 buckets, which you can map out on a simple axis. The first one, things are urgent and important. Do them now. Those that are important but not urgent, schedule. If something is urgent but not important, delegate. And if things are not urgent and not important, delete. Brutally and ruthlessly delete. Yes, you may probably annoy someone, but in reality, those tasks were not important in the first place. There was no relevance behind them. If it sounds simple, it is, but that's also why it works. The Eisenhower Matrix helps you to catch yourself in those moments when you're reacting, not deciding. You start seeing the difference between a real emergency and someone else's lack of planning. And if you're in a leadership role, that's your first job. Model calm triage instead of reacting chaos. Okay, let's go deeper. Let's say your backlog is overflowing. You've got 30 competing priorities. Everyone's asking for your time. The Eisenhower Matrix will simply not scale to that. It's possible that you've gone through the line and still ended having all 30 in one quadrant. That's where I bring in the ICE framework. Now the ICE stands for impact. If we do this, how big is the outcome? Confident. How sure are we that this will work? And effort. How much work does this actually take? You rate each from 1 to 10, then plug this into this formula. Impact multiplied by confidence and divided by effort. This is the ICE score. Now the higher the score, the bigger bang for your buck. Let me give you a quick example. Say you got two different tasks. Task A, there's medium impact, 5. There's high confidence, 8, but low effort, 2. 5 times 8 divided by 2 is 20. Now task B, there's a high impact to it, score 9. Low confidence, let's put it 3, and high effort 6. So that is 9 times 3 divided by 6, that's 4.5. Task A wins, and it wins even if it feels less exciting. And yes, ICE isn't perfect, it's directional, but it helps you and your team make decisions based on logic, not volume, vibes, or whoever shouted the loudest. I've used this with product teams, sales ops, even content prioritization. It works crazy well when you have to start making some strategic decisions. It's rather time consuming, but trust me that the more you use it, the easier it becomes and more on the fly you will be able to do it. If you've got a lot coming at you from different angles, try scoring your list. You'll be surprised what shakes out on the top and what quietly drops to the bottom. It will also give you a very good tangible analysis when you present the suggested course of action to your superiors. After all, it's better to be able to articulate the reasons behind some actions with numbers, not just, I had a gut feel it should be prioritized. Now, here's a personal habit I swear by, especially during high stakes weeks. Every morning, I take 3-4 minutes to run what I call a priority reset. I ask myself 4 questions. What absolutely must happen today? What can wait until tomorrow or later? What will create fire if ignored? What will put one out if I do it now? That's it. From here, I pick my top 3. These are the big rocks for the day. They end up on the to-do list, and whatever happens, I know I need to get those done to shift the needle. No fancy templates, no apps needed, just 3 priorities clearly stated on a piece of paper. It is wild how effective this is. It resets your brain from everything matters to here's what actually matters. And even better, when you model this publicly, your team starts doing it too. You create a culture where people decide the day, not just how to react to it. Right, let's ground this in real life. Say it's Tuesday and you've got a client asking for an urgent deck, a team member blocked on a deliverable, finance needing next quarter's forecast now, a product roadmap that's still half-baked, and oh yeah, your inbox is exploding. This is not a made-up example. That is exactly what happened to me last week on Tuesday. What do? First, put everything into one space. Could be Notion, ClickUp, Trello, whatever you use. Can be a piece of paper. I actually like using paper because it doesn't disappear when you switch application. Then apply ICE scoring with your team. This part really matters. Get input next, tag each item using your Eisenhower buckets. So you're filtering for both personal and team priorities. And then finally communicate the plan out loud. This week, we're focused on X, Y, and Z. These others are on hold until next sprint. If anything's truly urgent, flag it. This clarity builds trust. And when people see that what you're doing, you're choosing what not to do and what to do, they stop pinging you about every single pending task. Let's talk about one of the hardest parts of prioritization, saying no. Or at least saying not right now. If you're anything like me, you want to be helpful. You don't want to block people. And when someone says, can you take a look at this real quick? It is tempting to say yes. But here's the problem. Every quick look adds up. You break your flow, your context switch, and suddenly it's 5 p.m. You haven't touched your actual priorities, you haven't had anything to eat. So here are some pushback scripts I use all the time, and I strongly encourage you to do the same. Now they sound like simple hacks, and they're exactly that, but they do matter. They allow you to take control of the situation. For instance, things like, happy to help, but I'm focused on X today. Can this wait until tomorrow? Oh, I totally get this feels urgent. Where does it compare to project A and B? If you need this prioritized, let me know what I should prioritize just to make room. Now, these sound simple, but they're powerful because they move decision making back to the person who is most likely just looking for someone to dump the workload onto. The way I see it, I'm not being difficult. I'm inviting others into the prioritization process. And when you do it consistently, and this is the beautiful bit, people start thinking before they delegate to you. They start thinking before approaching you with trivia. Now, if you manage people, here's your real job during chaotic weeks. Protect your team from chaos. Don't just pass it down. Because when leaders react without triage, teams really follow that suit. They panic, and that panic becomes culture. Instead, build a few core norms. Define urgent. Maybe it means respond within 24 hours, not drop everything. Use a clear label or channel for true priority items. Very important, celebrate team members who make smart prioritization calls, even when that means saying no. And more importantly, make space for strategic work. You can't expect your team to innovate or think critically if they're constantly firefighting. That's on you. Triage starts at the top. Here's what I'll leave you with. You're not going to eliminate chaos. That's not the goal. Even with all the techniques that you mastered today and those that you will learn in the future, when you subscribe, you will have days when not everything will get done. The goal, however, is to stay calm inside the chaos and lead from that place. Just to repeat it, there will be days that will overwhelm you because that's the nature of the business world, but the key is to stay calm in the middle of all of that. Making a priority list is a skill. You get better at it by practicing under pressure. So tomorrow, when everything feels urgent, and it will feel urgent, just pause. Don't simply dive into it. Use the Eisenhower Matrix to sort the noise. Use the ICE scoring when you're juggling more than 20 decisions. And whatever happens, do your 3-minute reset in the morning. I swear by it, it really helped me a lot in the last 20 years. And build a team culture where prioritization is expected and respected. I can promise you that it will feel awkward and you will feel bad for telling others you can't do something for them. And it will continue to feel awkward for the next probably 90 days. But I also promise you that after that time, you will notice you actually stay afloat. Because by the time you've developed a new habit and taught others the way you work, you don't need to fix everything. You just need to know what matters most right now. That's the job. And yes, you will end up not doing some things because they were not simply important enough in the first place. Thanks for sticking with me. If this episode helped you see through the noise, send it to the teammate or manager who also is deep in chaos right now. And if you're into tactical management advice, leadership framework, and systems for staying just sane in a high-pressured roles, subscribe and follow this podcast. I've got a lot more coming. Until next time, stay focused, lead intentionally, and don't let the fake fires distract you from the real work.